Welcome to another episode of Touring the AFC South. I am your host, Mike Patton, and as we prepare for the 2024 NFL season in the AFC South, I got to bring on people that are actually rooting for the teams against the AFC South. Last time I got on, we talked about the Green Bay Packers. This time, we're bringing on someone that is a fan of the Chicago Bears. But not only is he that, he is the host of Three-Point Conversion podcast. Also, he is the CEO of Three-Point Conversion, threepointconversion.com, whatever you want to say, anything three-point conversion, you cannot mention not mention this man's name. That would be Mr. Raphael Haynes, aka the guy who actually talked me into doing podcasting along with Danny Thompson. So what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Did you miss me?
I was waiting on it.
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Yes, sir. It's been a long time coming, man. You know, I had to get you on at least one good time to talk about the Bears, man, because I know you talk about everything else, but I know deep down you are a Chicago Bears fan, yelling "Bear down" from the rooftops of the ATL. So, had to bring you on. But we're gonna get into talking about the Bears, the offseason, free agency, things like that. But first, of course, we have the Get Off Your Chest segment. And on this Get Off Your Chest segment, I got a bone to pick with the NFL. No, it's not a bone to pick with about the, the different packages and all those things costing millions of dollars and whatever. My bone to pick with them is about 2 cut weekends. They don't have them anymore. They only got one. And it's right after the game on Sunday. It'll be August 26th, I believe, is when the next cut is, when the one and only cut is for NFL teams. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I can't stand it. I wish it went in layers because, of course, you would find out a little bit more. And then plus you can also play a little bit more of the shell game. And then, I just don't like it that you don't get a long enough look at different players in different aspects because you have so many different players that you're all cutting at one time. Why not get rid of the players you're not interested in at one level? Play those next players that you're trying to get an extended look at in the next game, and then you'll know exactly what you have. To me, I just don't like it at all. I wish it would go back to the old way. But, like Raphael Haynes says, that might be me having old man get off my lawn type of moment. You got anything to add, man?
No, I agree. I didn't like it when they changed it because, first of all, just looking at it from a coaching perspective, I wonder, is it much harder? Because, you had times, okay, we're going to make this first cut, then we're going to give these other guys a chance. But now when you have to do it all collectively at one time, I mean, man, you got to go through so much just to say, okay, we can't get this guy. At least you had, let's give him a second chance because he looked like he's trying. He might jump in or come back and play well. But then from the player's perspective, like you said, you don't just knowing like we all could get cut at one time and not having that. Well, first of all, let me say this. It's only 3 preseason games now, right? And depending on which team you're playing for instance, like the Falcons, they hadn't played their starters. They played Penix the first game, but after that, it's been like third stringers. So that's good. But then you got the Bears who we have this rookie quarterback that's starting. So we're trying to get him to gel with the starters. So he's playing first game. He didn't play the Hall of Fame game, but I have an extra game. But game, preseason 2, preseason 3, and it's a possibility he might play preseason 4 because he need all the reps he can get. Plus, he needed reps with the first string players. Then you got teams like Kansas City who playing Mahomes and playing their starters, which are the teams that usually go deep in the playoffs. They play all through preseason. So if you only have three games, you don't have that much time to impress. You don't have that time to make up if you messed up. You know what I'm saying? So doing that one cut, I feel like it's like crabs in a barrel. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, you definitely can't bounce back with one cut for sure.
Yeah.
But that is the Get Off Your Chest segment. But let me get into what we all came here to talk about. That would be the Chicago Bears, the monsters of the Midway. But of course, last season they weren't necessarily the monsters of the Midway all season, but the second half of the season they definitely were, and that goes with the acquisition of Mr. Montez Sweat. Now, the defense changed when he got there. I mean, what did you think of? What did you think changed when he got there as a member the Chicago Bears? He's defensive lineman. For those that aren't aware, he's a defensive lineman that got traded from the Washington Commanders to the Chicago Bears around midseason. So what did you think of the trade for him and just the change in that defense, or what changed in your opinion?
Well, first of all, just the obvious. I mean, Montez Sweat is an incredible player. People might say he doesn't get a lot of sacks like that. It's not like he's averaging 16 sacks a game. But when you have a great defensive end, it's not just about the sacks. You got to count pressures. You got to think about knockdowns, even stopping the run, or even taking another offensive lineman just to help block. So that frees up everywhere else on the line. So just with that, then his mentality. So I was actually there. I've actually covered, believe it or not, I covered the first game he played with the Bears. And the players, they all talked about, what he brought in, the intensity, his work ethic, his mentality. And I think right then and there, it was like, you know what? He's going to be able to create, some space for us or create lanes for the other D linemen to get in and rush. And then they saw his pursuit. That stuff is it's very infectious, So to have him come in, to me, the defense was already starting to get better. It was just because everybody was new players. We had basically a new linebacking core except for Sanborn, and then you had some rookies playing. But by the time they were starting to gel, but then when you bring in Montez Sweat, it was like, all right, now we have a pass rush. Let's get it. Then the fact that when you see upper management saying, you know what, we want to build on our defense, that lets you know, like, hey, you know what, like they really believe in us. Like we really could do something. So the fact that they're knowing that the upper management is trying to help their team, which in the past it hadn't been like that. So I think that played a big part as well.
All right. Well, I'm already getting warnings from the touring the AFC South inbox from Mr. Vincent David Jackson. He said, Mike, be careful because Raphael does talk his Bears. This show could be 5 hours. Well, I'm not gonna let that happen, sir. But hey, we go keep it moving. But one other question, one other thing that probably changed midseason as well is maybe the thoughts of some potential fans of Eberflus, the coach. Now, before the season, halfway through the season, people were ready for him to go. As the team started showing a little bit more and got a little better, he took over the defense. Some opinions kind of potentially changed. So what do you think kind of, did you want him going at the end of the season despite those changes? Or were you kind of like, okay, cool, let's go ahead and rock with this one more season to see what he can do?
Yeah, I wanted to rock one more season because one thing about Flus that I noticed, even when the year before, when we were, what we win, 3 or 4 games, the fact that everybody, they played for him. Every game, the Bears were playing tough. We were in almost every game that year. Believe it or not, we were playing late. And it looked like we kind of like they gave up. Like the coaches was like, you know what, I hate to say that, but like we were there. The next, it's 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 5 at their 45-yard line. We run the ball, then we punt. It was like, what? So I don't know what was going on. But I said it to say throughout the game, though, it seemed like they were playing for him. They played hard. They grinded. Teams that we should have been blown out by, it didn't happen like that. Then you look at last year, yes, we start off rocky, but they still were playing and they didn't give up. Because you think a season like that, we start off 0-4. You start off 0-4, you think at this point, especially with last year, we didn't play well, and the year before last, all right, they're about to give up. And they didn't. So when you saw the Bears not give up, that let me know they like him. They something about him that they like. And I don't think we had, well, I shouldn't say we. Well, we brought me on to talk Bears. I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah, say we.
We, but I don't think we had the team to win, especially when Justin got hurt. Once Justin got hurt and we had to bring in the backup badge, and we still were playing, we still won some games with him. So it lets you know that they play for him. And anytime you have a coach that they play for, no matter what the circumstance is. As a matter of fact, I asked my Sweat about the difference between playing with, Chicago, coming to Chicago. What does he notice after the game? And he said the fact that the teams, they're not, of course, the season's about done. There's no way they can make the playoffs, but they're looking like we're ready to play. He said, well, most teams would be like, all right, well, just play hard as you can and don't get hurt. That wasn't mentality. It was like, no, we're going to play to win. We're going to fight for this guy. And he said when he noticed that, that's why he felt like he made the right choice. So I don't want Eberflus to go. I want to give him one more year because I think, like I said, the players play for him. Anytime you have a coach that players play for, then once you build a team like we have, so far, it could go the right way. And I think then you can start seeing teams winning and everything like that. So I wasn't ready for him to go. Like I said, I just watched the players. So I like Flus.
Got you. We got Sherm Turner stopping through as well. He said, he says he's reserving all haterade to the regular season. For those who don't know, Sherm, is a Packers fan. What's going on, man? And also, definitely just to let you know, Sherm, I did do an episode on the Packers as well. That was a previous episode. If you want to catch that one, talking with Camille Davis, who actually does Packer Day. And, she does some Locked On Bucks as well podcast too. So just giving you a heads up there. So cool. You mentioned Justin Fields, and that's a name that drew a lot of claps and applause and a lot of boos and meme mugs from some people, just depending on who you were talking to. It was talked about him all season. And, of course, Caleb Williams talk was all season as well. And that was that was interesting. That was interesting. Do you agree with the trade of him this offseason that happened? And what do you just think about? Do you think they really actually tried to support him as the quarterback in Chicago during his time?
So you got to look at it like this. The difference is when he came when the organization was like, you know what, they drafted him. And we had Poles as the GM, and we had, I don't even want to say his name, but Matt Nagy as the coach. They were going through a transition, and Matt Nagy didn't want to play Justin Fields. I don't even believe that Nagy wanted to draft Justin Fields. But that's what, not Poles, but Ryan Poles. That's what he wanted to do. So when it happened, we were going through that year where we weren't good. He came in half the year. Then the next year, when he played, I think that was Eberflus' first year. And that's when our GM, I think that's Ryan Poles. I forgot the past GM, either or, but that's when we brought in Poles, our GM right now. So now he broke up the team. So we had to go through the year to get to where we are now. So we had to let go of all these big time players, Roquan. We had to get rid of Khalil Mack. We had to get rid of all our good players, to get our cap to where we could spend money.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to go through that. I don't think it was, we're not looking out for Justin Fields. No, because the next year we did bring a DJ Moore, and then we did draft an offensive lineman with the number one first pick. So that meant they were trying to build for Justin. They invested a little bit in Justin. It just didn't work out. And with Poles, he's like, look, this is not my guy. I didn't draft him. When I came, he was here. It's either Justin or my career or my stint with the Bears. Let me go ahead and get this quarterback. So I don't think it was that they didn't try to do anything for Justin. I just think it was that weird period where it was like tough luck. Like I said, Poles came in. He gave him a wide receiver, gave him an offensive tackle. It didn't work out. And he only had that 1 year. So it was like, all right, let's go get Caleb. So, I wish Justin could have played in this offense as well. But again, I understand it. So I don't think they did Justin dirty. And then the fact that they let him go to where he wanted to go, which is Pittsburgh, where they probably could have got a better offer in Atlanta or anywhere else. So I don't think they necessarily did him wrong. I just think it was just circumstances of what was going on at that time.
Got you. Well, Sherm thinks differently. He's in the inbox. So on a national scale, well, in some senses, on a national scale, Justin took all the blame, which I agree. He did take a lot of the blame.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
and that's how they did. Everybody jumped on him, and he's this. So I think, like he said, nationally, I don't think it was internally. I think nationally. And you know why? Because the fact that he's a Bears quarterback. When Jay Cutler came to Chicago, Jay Cutler ruined it for all Bears quarterbacks. Because now, beforehand, even though we didn't have good quarterbacks beforehand, before Jay, no one really talked about the Bears and talked about the quarterbacks, anything. It was always about the defense. When Jay came, he was the first polarizing quarterback we had since Jim McMahon. And then all of a sudden, when Jay wasn't able to win, and remember the situation with the NFC Championship game, after that mystique came on with the Bears. Now all Bears quarterbacks aren't good. That's when everybody would talk about every Bears quarterback. You know, whoever came after him, they always talked about. It's kind of like with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care who you are. If you're a Dallas Cowboys quarterback, people are going to talk about you. People are going to hate. You're going to be polarized. That's how it is with the Bears. Until someone wins, no matter what, the quarterback is going to shoulder all of the blame. And I blame that on Jay. So that's why Justin, he took the brunt of it, you know.
Yeah, you know, he may be from Santa Claus, Indiana, but he didn't come bringing gifts for the Chicago Bears. That's all I can say. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into the free agency and the draft. Of course, we mentioned Caleb Williams. So, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about him, too. Up next on Touring the AFC South.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are two of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized and soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off of these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get this the EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
And we're back on Touring the AFC South. Shout out to EBO Beard Butter, helping me keep my beard so fresh, so clean. Thank you very much. Of course, like I mentioned before the break, you know, a clean break between the Bears and Justin Fields as he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in comes Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft. Now, how did you feel about the talk of drafting him before it kind of happened in terms of when Justin Fields was in Chicago? And then how did you feel about it after he was officially drafted as a member of the Chicago Bears?
I didn't want Justin to go because, like we just stated, we felt like Justin never got that chance to really shine. And you saw him start to get better throughout the season, you know, especially in the first 2 games when he threw for over 300 yards against Denver, 4 touchdowns, and 2 like 80-something against Washington and 4 touchdowns. Then he get hurt. And then when he came back, he looked pretty good. So it was like, man, if we get more help, more receivers and so on, Justin could be that dude. He's dynamic. We can. So it was no hate towards Caleb. It was just, I was rooting for Justin. Justin was like the first quarterback we had in a while where we were like, yo, what's promising this kid, you know? But it was inevitable, and I kind of knew. So I started preparing myself for Caleb. I had no problems with Caleb. I thought Caleb was the best quarterback in the draft coming out. So once we traded Justin, then I started getting excited because Caleb, even watching him in college, forget what we've seen in preseason so far, I just knew Caleb was that quarterback where he could stay in the pocket. He'll go through his progressions. He won't panic. but he had that it factor also. He can make things happen. He can make any throw. So just knowing that, and then any quarterback that comes from Lincoln Riley is going to play great in the NFL. I mean, you can't name one quarterback who hasn't had success in the NFL from Lincoln Riley. So even Baker Mayfield, you know, when he's healthy, he's had success in the NFL. So just knowing that, I started to get excited. You know, it was like, but at first I wanted Justin to stay. It was nothing against Caleb. I just wanted Justin to stay. But like I said, once I realized it was a wrap, I'm like, all right, I'm ready, Caleb.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely was parting was definitely not a great thing in Chicago to me. But hey, it is what it is. And like you said, it was inevitable. Now let's talk about the other pick from the first round for the Chicago Bears. That would be Rome Odunze, wide receiver.
Yes.
What did you think about, with all the other wide receivers that were out there? What did you think of Rome Odunze? And what do you think he's going to add to this Bears offense?
He's a pro. He played like a pro. Malik Neighbors, he's a beast. I mean, he has all of the skill set to be that guy, make them spectacular catches and quick, fast. You got Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison, we already know what he was. We saw what he was, But when you look at Rome, you watch him in college, Rome looked NFL ready as far as he can run any route. He could take it deep. He could go up and get the tough catches. Even his built, for a wide receiver was okay, like he's NFL ready. So you knew bringing in somebody like that who played on the stage. I mean, remember, Washington went to the national championship. So you get somebody like that has been to the big stage, has played on that stage. Now you're playing in NFL, and he already has wide receivers with Keenan Allen, with a DJ Moore that he can learn from. I thought it was the perfect fit. I mean, again, Malik Neighbors is a beast. Even Leggett is a beast, but
I'm sorry. We're hearing from the crowd. We don't call him Xavier Leggett on this show. We call him Country Grammar. Oh, go ahead.
My bad. Country Grammar. So Country Grammar, Country Grammar is a beast. That dude's a beast. But again, with what we had, skill set, what it takes, and then too, believe it or not, I know everybody going, man, get out of here with that. But no, just watching him, even talking to him at the NFL draft. Before the draft, got a chance to talk to him, speak with him. And then even after he got picked, got a chance to speak to him. His character fits, and that's what I love. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's just one of those guys, let me get the job done. I'm ready. And I know sometimes you want your receiver to have that wide receiver attitude, but I just think it didn't fit with playing with Caleb Williams, and who else we have. So I think it was a perfect match, man. I'm excited. We saw what he did this past Saturday, so I'm excited.
Yep. Definitely two good additions and two good exciting additions, and I'm definitely interested to see if he can take the top off the defenses as well. So that's going to be something to watch as well. As we're joined by Mr. Danny Thompson in here, and he's basically saying we're having a whole Bears mini series on this episode, which this show is definitely about the Bears and talking about the versus AFC South. So he is partly correct. So going on to the next thing I had to ask you about. Now, they did have a few other draft picks as well. They had 3 other draft picks. Did you have any one of those in particular that you thought about? Like I'll give them to you right here. In the 3rd round, he had Kiran. I'm gonna butcher his last name. Omega DJ, who is an offensive tackle from Yale. He's 6'5", 326 pounds. You drafted a punter in the 4th round, and Torrey Taylor from Iowa. And then you drafted Austin Booker, edge rusher from Kansas, 6'6", 265. So do you have any thoughts on any of those guys, or any kind of things you're looking forward to from any of those guys, or just you're like, okay, cool, those are guys potentially make the roster?
Well, when we chose the offensive lineman with the alphabet last name, I thought he was cool. I liked him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, cool, we need an offensive lineman. That's good. I'm a skip. Then when we got Booker in the 6th round. I like that pick. I thought that was a great value pick, and he's already shown what he can do. But at that time, I like that pick. We picked a punter. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Like, dog, we only got 4 picks. But I had to dial back because every move Pose has made sense. So I had to trust the process, as they say in Philly. But I think I was what was I? I was out somewhere. Shout out to Vince. But I was out somewhere and handling some business. And I'm like, what in the world? I was about to throw my phone, like, man, here we go. But if you think about it, if you look at NFL history, the times where you saw most of the players, when you saw kickers get drafted too early, pretty much they've done great. I mean, Janikowski was pretty good. Ray, what's his name? Ray, I can't think of his last name. The guy that's in the Hall of Fame, the punter. He's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, Ray Guy. You've seen it happen. You know, they're pretty good.
You got one that didn't do as well.
Who was that? That was
I can't remember. That was the kicker. Was the kicker out of Florida State or something like that? Didn't he go to some team to get cut? I can't remember what happened. He caught against the Yips.
Yeah, you're not talking about Janikowski. I know you're talking about.
No. Yeah, but I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one I can say that.
That's why I said mostly. That's why I said mostly. Yeah, right. But with Tyler, I believe.
Tory Taylor.
Taylor. You know, matter of fact, this last game he showed what he could do, but it was just like, come on. But again, when you watch Pose, when you see what Pose can do, when you see what Pose done, you have to trust the process, you know, and really he hadn't made any decision right now that made me like, you know what, that was real horrible. Some stuff is not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you ask any GM. I don't know any GM in NFL history that every decision he made, every draft pick or every trade he made worked. Like the only one I was like, come on, when he traded for wide receiver from Pittsburgh, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Chase Claypool.
Claypool.
That wasn't gonna work.
But right, but he tried. To me, if you're trying, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, besides that, everything else has made sense and has worked and it looks good. So I mean, trust him. We needed a punter, and he said, "Why not?" As a matter of fact, I found out that it was some teams that wanted him, which I was shocked at. So you know, but other than that, I was cool with the draft.
Okay. All right. Now, I will tell you, Chase Claypool, if you are listening, I think you might want to talk to Jordan Matthews. You know, Jordan Matthews is a wide receiver. Now he's trying to play tight end.
Jordan Matthews.
Might want to talk to him. I think you have more athletic ability than Jordan Matthews does. So that may be something to think about. Yeah. Just if you want to try to extend your career, kind of like, you know, you switch from cornerback to safety, switch from wide receiver to tight end. There you go. But that's just my thinking. Hey, you know, your agents are probably going to tell you something else, but I'm just telling you what I think.
Hey, Mike.
Of course, Mike, what's that?
Real quick, Jordan Matthews was a fantasy sensation for 1 year. Remember, he had that one good year. Everybody tried to get him, and after that, Jordan Matthews. Yep, I remember that. man. He's with Carolina right now, trying to make the team as a tight end. So you know, and when I've heard, he's looked good. So we'll see what happens. All right, now going to the free agency and trade portion of the offseason for the Bears. Of course, Keenan Allen, you previously talked about him. Mr. First Down is what I like to call him because he pretty much is going to make a catch and it's going to be a first down. So, I mean, what do you think of adding him to this Bears offense as kind of like a security blanket and a savvy veteran needed out there? I think that was one of the most important acquisitions for this past season. I mean, even getting Caleb and all of that, just because he's a pro's pro. His routes are precise. He knows, like you said, he knows how to find the ball. He's going to get open every time. He doesn't drop a lot of passes. I mean, we might go through a period where, you know, he's going to have and I'm not speaking this, but we might go through a period where he's he's going to have a either high ankle sprain or a hamstring issue. He's going to miss 4 or 5 games every season in the middle of the season. So we're prepared for that, But no, but other than that, I mean, this guy's dynamic, Somebody where he doesn't have speed like that, he always getting open. He knows football. He can read defenses, and to me, that bodes well when it comes to Caleb, because DJ Moore is a beast. DJ Moore can run great routes as well. Could run any route in the route tree, but with a guy like Keenan Allen who can read defenses, you don't see that as much with wide receivers.
Right.
Talent, but to read defenses, to know how to get open, to see the hole, develop before the play starts, that's going to be key. Young guy like Caleb and a young guy like Rome, because Rome has those type of capabilities as a Keenan Allen. He's probably a little faster, but you can see them mirroring each other for a little bit. So I think that's going to be essential to those guys.
Yeah, definitely is going to be something that's going to be interesting to watch. There are rumors out there that he showed up to camp out of shape. I don't know how true those are, because people were trying to say that, but I'm like, look, hey, back in the day, they used to show up at training camp to get in shape. So that's all.
Right.
Now, of course, you did you took a chance on a couple guys in free agency, I will say. One of those guys is DeAndre Swift. Now, DeAndre Swift had a career year playing for the Philadelphia Eagles last year with Jalen Hurts. However, he is a guy that has had multiple injuries and never really finished a season. So what do you think about him coming in to kind of bolster their run game? Now, just to give you a little bit of hint of the run game for the Bears. The Bears are second in the NFL in rushing yards per game, but a lot of that was because of Justin Fields, basically. So now you bring in DeAndre Swift, and how does that kind of change the running game? And are you nervous because of the injury history he has had over his career?
No, because he got over it last year. I mean, just like Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was getting hurt every year, but once he had that first year where he didn't get hurt again, that builds confidence on a player, so now I'm good. I can go ahead and play. But you usually see players just continuously get hurt each year and every year. So the fact that he wasn't hurt last year, I think that gave him some confidence and I can stay healthy, which is good. And I think that's why we decided to choose him. But with Swift is more shifty. Khalil Herbert is, I'm gonna see a hole, make one cut, and I'm gone. I love Khalil Herbert. I like Khalil Herbert.
He more like a box Chevy. Just like a box Chevy.
Right. Where with Swift, you might have this old school Corvette or Ferrari or what have you, that very shifty, has speed. Then he can catch up the backfield, which will be huge in this offense, with Shane Waldron. So to see him in the backfield now, to where we have somebody who can take it to the house. We didn't have that with Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert might get you a 50-yard run, a 45-yard run, but he's going to get stopped, which is fine.
He'll blow time,
man. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. But with Swift, now he can take it to the house. Just look at it like this. With Philly, Swift numbers were very good, right? Just think if they weren't doing that push tush, he would probably have like 6-7 more touchdowns added to his stats, to his stats. So I like what we got. Yeah. I mean, and then, like I said, the contrast between him and Khalil Herbert is going to be great. So I'm happy, man. Like I'm ecstatic for what we have.
Okay. All right. Now, the last guy I want to mention, he definitely is very well known, especially here in Tennessee area, but throughout the AFC South. That would be Mr. Kevin Byard, the veteran safety. They brought him over from Philly as well. Definitely didn't quite end the season as well as you would like in Philadelphia. However, he was a veteran leader and a guy that I've personally talked to multiple times. Great guy, great leader. What do you think of his prospects in terms of adding him to a secondary that maybe needs a little bit more support in the veteran leadership at that position?
Perfect. Like you just said it. Perfect. We let go of Eddie Jackson, and now we have another guy that has that veteran leadership or can provide that veteran leadership and he can make plays as well. But for that secondary, because it was certain times where we made mistakes, and I didn't think, like I said, I think we could have been better. I think we have a very good secondary, but I mean, you look at now, we have with Jaquan Brisker. I think he's an upcoming safety that's going to be great, but I think what we can provide with Brisker, what he can provide for Brisker, is the fact that because right now, like we talked about yesterday in Falcons camp, the safety position is not like it used to be. Mike, you remember before you had strong safety and the weak side safety, free safety. Strong safety was the hitter. That was the guy that's going to come in and, get a devastating hit. You know what I'm saying? Stop the run.
Right.
Where the free safety was the guy that was roaming, make the plays and all that. Well, now you don't have that because of the passing game. Now you have two safeties. You should have two safeties that can do anything or play everywhere, in that backfield of defense. So Byard comes in, now he can go ahead and help Brisker with that, even help the cornerbacks. And, as far as, all right, I need you to play right here. I got your help here, or you're going to be by yourself, or when he does this, making contact, we can communicate, whatever. I think so. I think his leadership is going to be more valuable than his play on the field. I think his play is going to be great, but I'm just saying, I think his leadership is going to be more valuable than his play on the field. So I like it. Like I said, I'm excited, man, what we have. I don't know if he can return to what he was in Tennessee. But if we get a little bit of that, I think we will be good. But again, his leadership is going to be most valuable to the team.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him. Of course, to do well, because he definitely truly is a good guy. Definitely a person that has many talents, many interests. And the crazy thing about him that not a lot of people know, he actually was a quarterback in high school before he went to Middle Tennessee State and became a safety. So a lot of people don't know that. Which is good. That's why he can read and he knows what the quarterback is thinking. He has a feel of what the quarterback is seeing or thinking. So that's a great skill set to have. Right. Definitely. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to get into it. The Bears versus the AFC South on tour in the AFC South with your host, Mike Patton. We'll be right back.
A shift. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business.
All right, and we're back on touring the AFC South. Like I mentioned before the commercial break, we're going to get into the Bears versus the AFC South. And the first game they have against the AFC South is actually the opening game of the season versus the new look Tennessee Titans. I mentioned new look because gone is Derrick Henry, in is Pollard, in is Lloyd Cushenberry as the center of the team. Drafted J.C. Latham at offensive tackle from Alabama. You bring in Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, and here comes Will Levis as well. Now, I got to ask, with all this different things, Levis, it'll be his first time as a full-time starter in a pass-first offense. So what do you just think about this different Titans team, and what do you expect to see when your Bears face them?
We don't know. I think this is the game, believe it or not. I think this probably will be one of the most interesting games Sunday. Not because I'm a Bears fan or you might think Chicago Bears with Tennessee Titans, but I'm saying it from the fact that you have two teams that have basically, I mean, Levis played last year, but this is first time starting the season. You have new offenses. You brought new offensive coordinators in, new personnel. So we don't know. Can Will Levis, he showed us a little something. Can Will Levis play? Yeah, he showed a little something last year, But I just wonder, my thing is, I know you have training camp, but have they played enough to get on page from the start of the season? Like, I thought they should have played last year. I know these major injuries across the NFL, a lot of teams were like, let's chill. I don't want to get hurt. Get our players hurt. But I personally thought that offense should have played last week, considering that the new offense, you have new personnel, just to get on page. Playing against your teammates, it becomes, I won't say easy, but I won't even say redundant, but I know the defense pretty much knows what y'all going to do because y'all run the same plays in the sense, vice versa. You know what the defense is going to do, tendencies. Whereas when you're playing a live game against a team that you never played, you hadn't played against. Now, all that stuff matters as far as communication, what route to run, snap count, just, defense or offensively. But with Levis and Calvin Ridley, it could be dynamic, but at the same time, you don't know. I mean, we saw Calvin Ridley. I don't think I expected Ridley to have a better year in Jacksonville last year, and he didn't. He showed signs, but he didn't have it like I expected. I think most people expect him to have a great year last year. Now you bring in Will Levis, a young quarterback that doesn't have that much experience. So it's kind of like, in a way, you're like, all right, I'm licking my chops as a defensive coordinator of the Bears, but at the same time, you just don't know. You don't have enough film on them, especially with this new offense. Pollard, and it's a new coordinator, so you don't have any film on these guys. So, I mean, personally, just without the film, I think the Bears defense, but the fact that they played a season together, I think they can come out on top, but we don't know.
All right. Well, I will say this: the O-line in Chicago, they ought to be a little nervous because a guy named Jeffrey Simmons is right in there. So you're going to get your first look at what this Chicago Bears offensive line is going to be versus one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL, and potentially seeing a young rookie in T'Vondre Sweat that might get some action in there too. So with those two big guys in there wrecking shop, I mean, does that make you a little? Are you excited to see the progress, or or see where the Bears offensive line is first game out against these two behemoths inside?
Yeah, first of all, I'm glad it's the first game of the season. Yeah, I am, because this will be a tough matchup. I love my line. I love Darnell Wright. I think he's going to be a star in this league. So I love Darnell Wright, my tackle. But yeah, it'll show not only for the offensive lineman, but even for Caleb, because it's different now. When you're blocking, and I've asked offensive linemen this all the time, is it a difference when you're for a quarterback who likes to run versus blocking for a quarterback that stays in the pocket? Because this quarterback, I mean, not saying that Caleb won't get out the pocket, which we saw Saturday, but for the most part, he's more patient in the pocket than a Justin Fields. With Justin Fields and the skill set, he's going to be ready to run. So just knowing the fact that, hey, I got a quarterback who's going to stay in the pocket, it might be easier to block. It might be more strategic to block a certain way. But when you got these two beasts is coming, and the defensive line just as a whole, it'll be a test, man. I mean, advantage definitely goes to Tennessee, but it'll be a test. I mean, we'll see. This is the second year that pretty much the line is intact. We added another lineman, but we'll see. But yeah, that's If it's one thing in this game, that makes me nervous.
Got you. Well, another thing that might make you nervous is L'Jarius Sneed and Chidobe Awuzie. Those are the two corners for the Tennessee Titans. Last year, of course, they didn't have these guys, and their pass defense was pretty suspect. So, which matchup are you looking forward to most? Sneed versus potentially DJ Moore, or are you looking forward to seeing Jalen Johnson versus Calvin Ridley?
So it depends on what I'm gonna give you two perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Excited as far as we could win this, Jalen Johnson definitely, because Sneed is a beast. Sneed is a beast. If there's one quarterback that I love to watch, it's Sneed. But I think with DJ Moore is so savvy. I don't think he gets enough credit, and I believe because we hadn't seen him play with that caliber quarterback, where you got that great quarterback. Think about it, man. Last year, he had over 1,300 yards receiving last year, and Justin Fields missed 6 games. Just think about that. We were playing with a backup rookie. I mean, a rookie backup. I'm sorry. And he still had over 1,300 yards. So, and we saw what he did, 1,100 yards multiple times in Carolina with no quarterback. I mean, Mike, you could have played quarterback. I could have played quarterback, and he was getting over 1,100 yards. So I think this is a great matchup to watch because now I think DJ Moore is definitely, coming to his own, but Jared Sneed, that dude, I think to me that's the most fun matchup to watch. But as a Bears fan, I'm more excited about the Jalen Johnson. I feel like we got one up on that. So, but like I said, we'll continuously watch that Sneed. That's the best matchup to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Another matchup is gonna be fun. The Colts versus the Bears as well. Now, of course, with that one, you got a Colts offensive line that is moving folks out the way. Got Zach Moss a nice new contract in Cincinnati because of that. But you got Jonathan Taylor back there. You got the Bears D-line going to versus the Colts O-line. Oh boy, it's gonna be physical in them trenches. Now, do the Bears have enough to do some things in there, or are the Colts gonna make you a little nervous with the way they can push people out the way with Ryan Kelly and Quentin Nelson in there?
Yeah, they definitely can push people out the way, but it depends on what I guess it depends on if you get those linemen to get in the second part of the Bears defense and hit those linebackers, then that's when I believe we're in trouble right there. The defensive coordinator for the Bears, I think now he's starting to be more physical and more aggressive. Like, for instance, we're starting to blitz a corner out the backfield. So it might have to take that to stop a Jonathan Taylor or to get to the quarterback, but that line is I give of course I'm gonna give them the upper hand, just the offensive line. But again, if we're aggressive, we throw some schemes out there where we're blitzing, or we have 6 or 7 in the box, maybe we can't stop Jonathan Taylor. It's been done before, but that line is something, Mike.
Yeah, they physical in there. Some bullies.
Very, very. I love the way they just like. It reminds me of I don't know if you all are old enough who's watching it and watching Tecmo Super Bowl, and when they either break a tackle and the player like fold up and roll like 15 yards. That's how I feel about the Indianapolis Colts when I think about the offensive lineman. Very physical, very physical, very physical.
Yeah. Definitely very physical. Another matchup that could be physical is Michael Pittman Jr. versus Jalen Johnson. Now, Michael Pittman Jr. has been known to get in people's faces, get up and let them know about it. So I expect them to have actually get into it maybe at least once or twice in this game. I mean, I'm excited about that matchup. I mean, what's your thoughts on that one?
I don't think Jalen Johnson gets enough credit. The fact that his peers and vote him on the top 100. I mean, whatever. That mostly friends and all that good stuff. But still, that was disrespectful. It was disrespectful that he didn't make the Pro Bowl, but he made All Pro. So that lets you know how good he is. He's a very, very good cornerback. Michael Pittman doesn't get enough credit. He's that type of wide receiver that he's going to get open. He's going to make the catch. If you need to change the move, that's your guy. You know, he can have a game where he has 9 catches for 110 yards. Yeah, that's a 10-point average or not, but he's moving chains. You know, that's what you want. You know, he's not the guy that's going to take it over the top, get a 50, 60-yard touchdown. That's all right. You don't need that. But moving the chains, that's how a team becomes successful in the NFL. So with those two, you got 2 guys that don't get enough credit, that plays hard, that are very good at what they do, very physical at what they do. That's going to be the matchup to watch. I kind of like my guy just because of the young quarterback with the Colts, but I like Jalen in this.
I hear you there, but you know, another matchup I'm definitely going to be looking at is Juju Brents. Now, he's not your typical corner. He's 6'3", about 190 pounds. He reminds you of, put you in the frame of a Richard Sherman. I'm not sure he's as physical as Richard Sherman, but he puts you in that mind frame. And of course, you know, he is playing for Gus Bradley, who was the former Seattle Legion of Boom defensive coordinator. Yeah. So him versus DJ Moore. Now, I will tell you this. I can't give you a great matchup in terms of, well, I can give you one in the slot, Kenny Moore versus Keenan Allen. But, you know, as far as another outside corner for the Colts, man, you might as well call him burnt toast. You might as well say it's Eli Apple out there. But it's just bad on the opposite side, man. It's bad on the opposite side. So I'm going to stick with this matchup, Juju Brents versus DJ Moore. I mean, you know, when Juju Brents did play, he did play well. It's just a matter of, can this man stay healthy? So that's a matchup you might want to keep an eye on too, just during this game as well.
Yeah. DJ Moore all day. Again, I think DJ Moore is one of those wide receivers that doesn't get enough credit as well. And like I said, he can run every route. He can and he runs them well. He has great hands. One thing about DJ Moore that I didn't know about him is the fact that he's tough to bring down. Once he catches the ball, he's not one of those guys, once you hit him, no, he's fighting for the extra yards. He's tough to bring down. And yeah, that's no match.
All right, we're going to kind of pick it up just a little bit more through these next ones. We got the Jaguars coming up. Of course, they got Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen, 27 sacks between both of them last year. Against your edge, against Mr. Wright that you mentioned, and those tackles for the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm pretty sure that week they're probably going to keep you up a little bit, thinking about how the Bears are going to stop them, right?
Right, yeah. So with those guys, I mean, it'll be at that time where the Bears have jailed as an offensive line, but I believe that you're going to need Caleb to use his feet for this. You know, if Caleb could be crafty with his feet, get outside the pocket and make plays, if the Bears move him outside the pocket, then we'll be fine. But that's another tough task for our offensive linemen. But hopefully at that point, you know, we've gelled, we played together, and we'll be ready. But again, I think it's going to take Caleb to do what he does and, you know, get outside the pocket and make plays. And I think that'll help that pass rush.
Now, when it comes to the flipping on the other side of the ball, Mr. Trevor Lawrence just got paid like he is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He doesn't perform like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, though, in my opinion. So, you know, but he does have weapons. He has weapons. He has a rookie in Brian Thomas Jr. He has one of the best tight ends in the NFL, in Evan Ingram, who had over 100 catches last year. He has Christian Kirk as a wide receiver. He has, he has Gabriel Davis, which I like Gabe Davis, but, you know, I call him Mr. Inconsistent because, you know, he'll show up one game and be huge. The next game, quiet as a mouse.
Right. You're not lying.
So So with these weapons that he has, I'll throw in Travis Etienne as well because Travis Etienne is a talented running back. With these weapons that he has, does it make you a little bit more nervous that he's got so many guys to spread the ball to, or are you more concerned with getting to Trevor and kind of getting him off his spot?
No, I think we need to get to Trevor. They have a lot of guys, but again, our defense. I love my defense. I love my secondary. I mean, we have the type of secondary that could come in and guard. My safeties can guard a tight end. We have Tyler Gordon, our nickelback cornerback, is one of, I think, developing one of the best nickelback cornerbacks in the game. I think he's headed towards a guy from Indy that we mentioned. I can't think of his name right
Kenny
now.
Moore.
Kenny Moore. Yeah. I think Kyler's more physical, so I'm not really worried about that part. I mean, it'll play itself out, but I like where the Bears are. I don't think they were torches, but it's about getting to Trevor Lawrence. It's about rattling him. We get to him, rattle him, knock him down a few times, make him rush his passes. Then I think you'll start to see the mistakes, that will happen by Trevor. It's not like Trevor always making mistakes, but if you rattle him, any quarterback, once they're throwing off their back foot and they're rushing, and he's still young, I think the question with him is, has he taken that next step, or when he's going to take that next step? So he's at that point where quarterbacks usually take that next step in fourth year. So we just need to rattle him. If the Bears defense line and we're coming off blitzes and everything, we can rattle him, then he'll revert to what you were saying. You don't think he's a top 5 quarterback or even top 10 quarterback. So I think we get him to revert back to that, the Bears will be fine.
Yeah, sunshine could turn into rain, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
But as well as with the with the Trevor Lawrence and things like that, it'll be interesting just to watch, what that contract ends up being for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It could be good, could be bad.
Yeah,
just gonna leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna mention what they probably told me on what all the Jacksonville Jaguars fans probably said about me after I was on the 10-10 Excel down there. Boy, oh boy. Switching over, we got to talk about the best team in the division, and that would be the Houston Texans. Of course, they have Stephon Diggs, they've got Nico Collins, they've got Tank Dell, they've got Joe Mixon, and they have Mr. CJ Stroud. Boy, oh boy, a lot of sleepless nights are going to be had by Chicago thinking about this offense. Now, what would be your first thing to try to stop this offense? Do you try to stop the pass, load up on that, try to make them run the football? Do you load to stop Joe Mixon and force him to pass all the time? What would be your thoughts on how to try to stop this offense?
You have to stop the pass. You can't get CJ Stroud going. You have to throw blitzes coming from every angle just to throw him off. You have to, because you have to put him in long and like third and long situations. Stop the run first. They run the ball. Make sure, it's not a 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6 where they have options. Keep it where it's 2nd and 8. So then if they want to pass and you get a sack or whatever, or even incompletion, it's long. So now you can prepare for the pass, but this team is loaded. I would say on how to stop it, if we can get Jesus and pads and play, because that's the only way we go. This team is loaded. Mike, when's the last time we seen a team loaded like this? Well,
I'll give you one, but it ain't gonna be a good one. That would be the Eagles. Remember they had the team that had Vince Young as a backup and all those pieces they had. That didn't go so well, did it?
I would even say the coach, in a sense, but your third and fourth wide receivers weren't like that. That's why I said I don't think it's any team in the NFL that we saw that had your third and fourth wide receivers that good, and you got a very good running back.
Now I will tell you, I am picking with you, Texans fans that are listening. I don't think the Texans will be like the Eagles were that year.
No, they won't.
But no. I think they're probably going to get at least 11 or 12 wins. I think they will.
Hey, what have Vince Young call them? They would have.
But the dream team or
dream
something?
team, yeah, the dream
team.
Yep.
I was like, Vince, why? Why did you curse them out loud? Why did you curse them out loud? But you did. But hey, it is what it is, and that's what happened. But yeah, as far as flipping over the defensive side of the ball, Texans versus the Bears offense. The one thing about the Texans, they're good at different levels. Now I know they have an injury they're dealing with Christian Harris right now, but the interior offensive line, especially with Danico Autry being suspended right now, that's a question mark. And I would not be surprised if the Bears try to run the football on them, Mr. DeAndre Swift. So could this be the DeAndre Swift game where he gets going?
Yeah, it has to be. Then you have to beat them at screen passes. You have to keep them guessing, but you need Swift to have a big game, run up the gut, because still, as a pass rush, Texans are still good, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to draw plays. Maybe this is the game where we become the best. Or what were we last year? I know we're top 5 in rushing.
Top 10 rushing team.
A top 10 rushing team, but we need to beat that team, a top 5 rushing team that game, and just continue to pound the ball. You use the contrast of Swift and Khalil Herbert, short passes and then set them up for the deep pass. But this team is loaded, so and we can control the clock. That's what you want to do with a team like this. Control the clock. Don't keep Stroud off the field. And yeah, it's crazy that we're talking like that in year 2 with the Houston Texans as well. But that's what you have to do to beat him. So yeah, Swift has to have a big game, and Khalil Herbert.
Yeah. It'll be interesting just to watch and see what happens there. Also, another thing that'll be interesting to watch is you got Derek Stingley on one side, and you're going to have a rookie more than likely for the Texans starting at corner and Kamari Lassiter. So I expect the Bears to kind of go at Kamari Lassiter and kind of test his mettle just a little bit. But, he is from the University of Georgia, and, them Georgia boys been coming to the NFL and doing their thing. So you never know. We'll see what happens when it comes to that. But, of course, we've reached the end of the show, and we have a game that we have at the end of the show. It's 5 questions, 2 answers, and 1 choice. Mr. Raphael Haynes, Mr. Controversy, are you ready?
Ready as I can be right now, so let's go, man.
All right, we're going to take it to Chicago real quick. We got Overnight Celebrity or Slow Jams. Which song are you taking from Twister?
He killed Slow Jams. Overnight Celebrity is one of my favorite though, but he killed Slow Jams. I gotta go with Slow Jams. He murdered that. He murdered that. And honestly, I felt like that was the opening for Twister to the rest of the world. I mean, I know you had certain songs if you were a Twister fan, but for the most part, that was like me coming out party. As far as like, oh, this dude is really nice. But yeah, he murdered Slow Jams.
Yeah, I still remember him with Do or Die and Poe Pimpin'. Man, that song right there was classic. Still classic.
What? Yeah, classic. That was. Well, I say a lot of people don't know that, So, but I think Slow Jams is the one that got him on the map with the rest of the United States. But yeah, he murdered that.
Okay, next one: Garnett's popcorn, or Garrett's popcorn, or deep dish pizza. Which one is more overrated to you?
Overrated?
Yeah.
None. But if I none, it's definitely not Garrett's popcorn. I think, yeah. I had to choose, Mike. Since you making me choose, it has to be deep dish pizza because that's more of a preference. Some people don't like. They might say it's too much on that pizza, and you just made me hungry. But they might say it's too much on that pizza and everything. But Garrett's popcorn. What?
Yeah.
How you doing it?
Yeah. Hey, oh, trust me. I brought back a whole bag from NEBJ. Brought back a whole big old bag.
When your fingers are orange, you got that orange color on your face. Oh yeah, what? Come on, man.
Right.
Come on. Yes.
All right. You have to cheer for one team. Is it the Packers or is it the Vikings for one day?
That was so easy. I'll never cheer for the Packers. I hate the Packers. I hate them. Never. I would never forget that time when we had to play. The Packers had to play the Vikings, and if the Packers won, they would Bears would get in. But if the Vikings won, Vikings would get in. And the quarterback was I can't remember his name. Number 7. He wasn't good at all. Not Tavares, but I forgot who it was. But either or, and that was the game where Adrian Peterson was trying to get the 2000, trying to break the record, Eric Dickerson's record. Last game of the season. All the Packers had to do was win. But Aaron Rodgers, everybody healthy. So we had to root for the Packers, and they lost. I hate the Packers. Never root for them. Never. Never.
All right, now definitely we're going to the get off my lawn part of these questions. What annoys you more in NBA basketball? The tons of threes being shot in the game, or big men camping out the 3-point line shooting threes?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say the 3-point. I'm not mad at the big man for having that skill set. So yeah, you want to get your tail in the paint, whatever, but I'm not mad at that. But it's the volume of 3-pointers being shot, because that's all you got. People who shooting threes that aren't 3-point shooters. You know what I'm saying? Like Steph is a 3-point shooter. Because what get off the lawn. We grew up, we had 3-point specialists, you know what I'm saying? Shooters that are specialists in 3-point.
Man, Craig Hodges, man.
Yeah, Craig Hodges. Right. You had all these type of
Craig
guys. Craig Elo.
Steve Kerr.
Dale Curry. You had these guys who were specialists. But now everybody wants to shoot threes. Everybody feel like they can shoot threes. And my thing is, if you can't make free throws, you shouldn't be allowed to shoot 3-pointers. Like, that's a big pet peeve, but I can't stand it because they'll shoot threes at the wrong time. Now, if you're taking a good 3-point shot, it's a pass and you open at the corner, you shoot it. That's cool. When you come down to 20 seconds left and you shoot a 3-point in somebody's face, 35 feet, it's like, what are you doing? Why? Or a fast break. Don't get me started, Mike. Yeah, 3-point shooting. I go with that.
Oh, I knew that one would get you started, but the last one. You got to pick one running back. Are you going to pick Barry Sanders or Walter Payton?
Sorry, Chicago fans, but I'm picking Barry Sanders. He's my favorite player of all time. Man, I used to watch tapes. I used to record him. And, back then you could do slow motion on a VCR, man. I would just study his moves and watch his moves, man, and see how he does that. Yes, I love Walter, but Barry Sanders is my favorite, the best running back ever. I love Barry Sanders. That's my dog. So Barry Sanders, easily.
All right. Now, Chicago, when Raphael steps off the plane, just don't curse him out. Let him walk around the city. He just stating who he like. Don't curse him out now.
But you know what? it's funny because Chicago fans, they'll be like, what? But they'll give me a pass and be like, it is Barry. If I would say any other running back, I would get cussed out and beat up. But the fact that it's Barry's like, all right, man, you tripping, but we'll give you that, But yeah, but it's Barry Sanders, man. Greatest.
All right. Well, 5 questions, 2 answers, and 1 choice is over. You're off the hot seat. We have reached the end of the show. Mr. Raphael Haynes, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for actually continuing to talk to me about doing podcasting. And I mean, I'm almost to 300 episodes now doing podcasting. So crazy how that happened. But you got the stage, man. Let everyone know where they can find your show. They can find your work, your writing, covering the Atlanta Falcons now. Let everyone know, what all you want them to know about you.
First of all, Mike, appreciate you for having me on the show, man. And yeah, I'm very proud of you, bro. Very, very proud of you. It was long overdue. We kept Danny Thompson as well. We kept saying, hey, get your show, man. So to see you do this, and I think the most, and I'll get to it real quick, the most important part of this and the part I'm most proud of is the fact that your consistency, you continuously do it, and I love that, bro. So keep it up, man. Like you've inspired me, believe it or not, so keep it up. I'm so proud of you, dog. All right. So you can reach me. So I've changed. I used to be Mr. Controversy. I'm Mr. Controversy when I do my show. My show is every Wednesday night. Go to the 3-Point Conversion Facebook page, the 3-Point Conversion YouTube channel, also the 3pointconversion.com. It'll be streaming live every Wednesday at 7:00. Also, you can find me on social media. Now it's just put Raphael Haynes or R.A. Haynes. And yeah, you'll find me on all social media platforms. The 3-Point Conversion, as you see it at 3PTCNVRSN, you put that in. We're on TikTok. We're on everywhere, everywhere. Subscribe to the 3-Point Conversion page, YouTube channel, like the Facebook page. We have updates. We cover, I'm personally covering right now with a company, but I'm the one's covering the Atlanta Falcons. We have Cortland Griffin. He's covering the Tennessee Titans for us. We cover the Atlanta Hawks. We cover Cleveland Browns. We cover, about to start covering again the Jacksonville Jaguars. All sports, 4 WNBA teams, baseball, we're all over, man. But like I said, make sure you cover us. Hey, our slogan is where fans' opinions matter. And we really do mean that. So again, appreciate you, Mike, man. I love this show. I had fun on the show, bro. It was so much fun. I think you didn't like me, man, because I wasn't on it. All the friends on the show, man. I'm like, dang, but I didn't say nothing. Like I said, I was so proud of you, man. I didn't care. It was like, I'm so happy that you were doing what you were doing, man. So it's an honor to be on the show for real.
Yeah, man. Thank you again. Of course, you said R.A. Haynes, man. I thought you was going to say the Reverend R.A. Haynes where you said that, but oh my goodness. I looked at that. I said R.A. Haynes. I'm like, man, is he about to say Reverend Haynes now?
That's what I should be, but
but yeah, but of course, I'm the host of Touring the AFC South, Mike Patton. You can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Mike Patton82. That's MikePatton 82. Of course, word to Prince, one of the greatest artists of all time. The artist formerly known as Twitter. That's why I say that. But of course, you can find me on Instagram and Threads at the THA and the THE _general_MP. As far as Touring the AFC South, you can find it on all listening platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. And also you can find Touring the AFC South on YouTube at the Mike Patton Network. I want to thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this episode of Touring the AFC South. I am your host, Mike Patton. We're out. Peace.